Hey there, folks, and how are you doing? Welcome to the Coaches Cafe. Now, if you don't know me, my name's Graham Nichols. I am the owner and the lead instructor and the coach at the Priority Academy. Now, a little while ago, I created a podcast called the Coaches Cafe where I interviewed some coaches. I got some best tips out of them about how to be better coaches or how to just live your life a bit better. But I wanted to take it to another level. That season finished and I wanted to take it to another level. So I have decided to do this, and that is go live with the Coaches Cafe, which basically means me sat here chatting. And sometimes I might have some guests, or maybe sometimes it will just be me. And today it's just me. It's the first one. I'm kind of trying it out. I want to see how it goes. So if you are out there and if you can see me, then drop me a comment in and let me know you're out there. And if not, if you're watching this on a replay, you can still drop a comment in and I would really appreciate it. Today, I want to give you some information, some data, some thoughts on the life coaching industry and that industry, the helping industry as a whole, because it really is the place to be right now. The truth is that for the last 10 years, the life coaching industry has been the second biggest growth industry in the world. Yes, let me say that again. In the last 10 years, for the last 10 consecutive years, the life coaching industry has been the biggest or the second biggest growth industry in the world, only behind IT being the biggest growth industry for forever and a day now, it seems, because everything changes in every moment with IT, doesn't it? But that means the life coaching industry has seen massive, massive growth over the last decade. And guess what? That is set to continue. But it's set to continue in a different way. With everything that happened in 2020, everybody went online, didn't they? The whole world, it seemed, went online. It didn't matter which way you turned, which way you looked, everybody was online, whether it was online live like this or with Zoom calls or just live video chats or on Facebook or whatever it was. Everybody went online. And what that means is there's a huge opportunity online. I saw a report the other day, and that's kind of what brought me to do this subject today. I saw a report the other day that online health and online therapy, so that's people seeing doctors online, but also therapists and practitioners and life coaches, of course, is included in that. All of that online last year hit $26 billion worldwide in revenue. $26 billion worldwide. That's just absolutely incredible. But what's more incredible is that the prediction for the next 4 years is that within 4 years, that will hit $55 billion in turnover in revenue. That's just, I mean, where do you start with $55 billion? Now, of course, that, as I said, includes doctors and coaches and therapists and practitioners and complementary, anything in that area. But $55 billion, there's a lot to go around there, isn't there? So if you're considering getting into this industry, if you're considering being a coach or a practitioner or a complementary therapist, then now's the time, because there is still exponential growth to be had in the life coaching and helping industry. Just imagine for a moment how small of a fraction of that industry you need to have a decent income. 0.0001%. And yes, I did sit here. I am that sad sack that sits here and works that stuff out. 0.0001% will earn you $55,000. Now, you can do wherever you are around the world, you can translate that into your own currency. Obviously, I'm here in the UK, but the report was in dollars, hence why I'm talking about it in dollars. But $55,000 annually for 0.0001, three zeros and then a 1% of this industry. Now, of course, if you got 0.0002%, you'd be on $110,000 per year. Now, that's just incredible for that small fraction. But that's what the industry is going to grow into. And if you're on the ground floor, if you're getting in now, or if you're already in, or if you're just about to get in, now's the time. You've got to get in, because that growth is just going to go and go and go. And yes, we would all love to be seeing people face to face again, wouldn't we? Certainly, I do some of my best work face to face because there's an energy in the room, but it's absolutely not impossible to do it online. In fact, everybody switched online. I've done coaching online for a couple of years now, to be fair, but certainly I've done a lot more of it since COVID took over in 2020, and I had to shift my business even more online, and so did everybody else. So it's absolutely possible to do that. Can you imagine if you suddenly had your own business that was turning over $55,000 for you, or whatever that is in your currency, for you a year? Would that be good for you? Would you be able to give up your current job or your part-time job, or what would you be able to do with 55K? But you see, it's bigger than that, really, isn't it? Because you don't just want to be a coach, you want to help people, you want to reach out and help people. So imagine turning over $55,000 per year. How many people are you going to have helped in that year? Now, I haven't done the maths on that. Let's say you charge an average price of $100 per session. You do the math of, if the average person does 3 or 4 sessions, maybe you do the math as to how many people you'd help. I would imagine it's over 100 people in a year. It's not a bad start, is it, to be helping over 100 people in a year and earning a decent living from it? But of course, you can do more than that, because if you're helping, let's say, 100, 120 people in the year, and I'm just guessing on numbers there, but I'm sure you can work it out. But if you, let's say, you were doing 120 people in a year, helping 120 people in a year, that would still leave you some free time. So you can dive into things like online courses, which I'm a huge part of. I've been doing online courses for 4 years. In fact, it's 4 years this month that I first released my first online course. But the online course business is it must be catching up in growth rates. It must be in the top 5 of industries in the world, I would guess. I can't seem to find where it sits. But what I do know is that in 2020, the online course industry passed the $200 billion mark. Let me say that again. That's B for billion. $200 billion was spent on online courses in 2020. Now, of course, they're not just life coaching courses. They're courses on Excel and how to build websites and all of that sort of stuff. But life coaching and the things that surround life coaching are all part of that. I've got courses on life coaching, but also on NLP and mindfulness and meditation and EFT tapping and all sorts. They're all included in that area. But what's more, that 200 million is set to grow by 2026. The prediction is that 200 million will be 375 billion. 375 billion. That means it's nearly going to double in size in the next 6 or 5 years. We're in 2021 now. So in the next 5 years, it's set to nearly double in size. So let's imagine again for a minute what 0.001% of that is. I haven't done the math on that, but it's huge, isn't it? Absolutely massive. You need a tiny part of that market. So a tiny part of that online health market and a tiny part of that online courses market. And all of a sudden, you have a thriving business. A business, what would you do with that sort of money? What would you do? How would you feel with helping that amount of people? How could you imagine helping that amount of people? Not only helping the people that you're coaching, that 100, 120 a year we spoke about, but what about the people who get your online courses? Let's say you get a couple of hundred people, maybe 400 or 500 people in a year to take your online courses. That's 400 or 500 people more that you've helped. That's 620. How many people do you want to help a year? It could be massive, couldn't it? Now, the coaching industry itself is around about, now it depends on which report you look at. Some reports saying it's 15, 20 billion. I'm not quite sure it's there yet, with the online help and therapy industry being only at 26 billion. I say only at 26 billion. Yeah, that was kind of off the cuff there, wasn't it? It's only 26 billion. I can't imagine the coaching industry being that big right now. But I do believe it's between 3 and 5 billion, somewhere around that at the moment. And it's predicted to be around the $6 to $7 billion market by 2022. So it's still growing at a huge, huge rate of knots. So can I ask you a question? The question I have to ask you, and just remember, if you are watching this live, then drop a comment on the side there, or even if you're watching afterwards, you can drop a comment. Are you ready to get into the coaching industry or the helping industry? Are you ready to go? Whether it's you're ready to get trained to do that, or you've already been trained and you're just in and are, and the fears got hold of you, or the limiting beliefs have maybe got hold of you a little bit. Are you ready to dive in? Because if you are, and you're looking for the perfect time, then you've just found it. This moment right here, whenever you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it on a replay, this moment right here is your perfect time. There is no other perfect time. The perfect time doesn't come about. The only perfect time comes about is when you decide that now is the time. And now is absolutely the time, folks. Because if you want to be part of this industry, then you have got to be involved in it now. Because the amazing growth that's going to come over the next 4 or 5 years for both the coaching and online health industry, the coaching industry itself, and the online courses industry. And I haven't even mentioned the kind of the book industry, which is still does amazing work and still grows at a great rate. There are so many opportunities for us as coaches and helping practitioners at the moment that you just have to be involved in it. The opportunities, I can't imagine being there forever, because eventually people are going to get to the point where it's the market's saturated, but it's certainly not saturated yet. But what you do want to be is, when that market is saturated, you want to be an integral part of that market. Now, that might be in 10, 15 years' time. But imagine if it's 10, 15 years' time and you've been turning over, let's say $100,000 a year for those 10 years. Would that be a good living to you? I don't know how much you earn at the moment. I don't know how much your goals and aspirations to earn. But let's look at it in the terms of how many people you help. Let's say that you help 500 people a year through various different streams, through coaching, through online courses. Maybe you write a book, something like that, and you've helped 500 people a year for the next 10 or 15 years. Well, that's over 5,000 if it's 10 years, isn't it? Imagine how good does it feel? How fulfilling does it feel to have helped that many people in 10 years' time, over that space of 10 years? And it's probably going to have grown to more than that anyway. But we'll call it 5,000. How great does it feel to know that you might have helped 5,000 people? So that question still sits. And I still want you to answer it. Whether you answer it in the comments or not, that's fine by me. But you need to answer it for yourself. Are you ready to get into this industry? Are you ready to help people? Because all the money put aside, what we are here for, what we were put on this planet for, me and you, what we were put on this planet for is to help people. And there's a lot of people that need help right now, isn't there? Whether they need life coaches, or whether they need NLP practitioners, or EFT tapping practitioners, or whether they need to do some meditation or some mindfulness or anything like that, they need help. People around the world need help right now, and they will do for years and years to come. But the only time to get into the industry is right now, because it's a massively growing industry. There is plenty of room for more coaches and more practitioners and more complementary therapists and more therapists and all of that. There is plenty of room still in there. It's just time to dive in and jump in. Now, if you're already trained and you've maybe started and you're in and are in a bit, and you've kind of done the odd post here and there, and nothing's really worked, then it's time to dive full in. Because the only way we do this is when we're absolutely full in. I'm not talking about leaving your job at the moment and getting into debt. I'm talking about getting full in as much as you possibly can. If you're getting home after a day's work and you've still got 2 or 3 hours spare, or even 2 or 3 hours that you can make spare for your business, and it's time to do that. If you need more training, then get more training. Wherever you get it from, you can come to the Priority Academy. We teach no end of stuff around the helping industry, and we'll absolutely help you to get into that industry. We've got courses on everything you can imagine, from life coaching to NLP and tapping and all of that sort of stuff. There's even courses on there about how to start your business, called the Business Kickstart course. You can come to the Priority Academy and find those at thepriorityacademy.com. Whatever your situation you're in, maybe you're looking to make a shift out of one area. Maybe your business suffered when COVID hit and you're looking to do something new, and you want to help people. You got to that point in your life where it's time to really help people. Maybe that's your passion. Maybe that's your driving force. Whatever your driving force is, you have an industry that's worth, or will be worth in 4 years' time, $55 billion. That's a lot of people to help for $55 billion. That's a lot of people who need help around the world, who are going to spend $55 billion. What about the online courses industry that by 2026 will be $375 billion? Yes, billion with a B on both of those, $billion. $375 billion. That's a lot of people buying a lot of courses, and some of them could be yours. What about the coaching industry that looks like it could be $5 to $7 billion by next year? That for the last 10 years has been the second biggest growth industry across the world. And yes, I know I've already said that in this video, but I want to wake you up. I want to say it again so that you wake up and go, okay, you win, Graham. You win. You've got me. You've told me about this, and I've been umming and ahhing about it, and I've been messing about with it, and I've not really been doing it properly. You've got me, Graham. I'm going to do it. I'm going to dive in. Why do I want you to dive into the helping industry so badly? Because I want you to help people. Because I want the people around the world to get the help. And I can't help everybody. There are some great coaches and practitioners out there that are doing some great work, but they need help because they can't coach everybody either. They can't help everybody either. So I'm looking to you to step up, to step in, to take those limiting beliefs and go, no, not interested. I'm throwing you out the door. To take those fears and realize that those fears are just alarm bells that are telling you you're on the right path. I want you to step up and step into the helping industry if that's what you're choosing to do. Whatever it may be, now is the time. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to step into the industry? Drop me a comment if you are. Come on, somebody commit for me today while I'm still live on here. I can see there's a few of you watching. So somebody commit for me today and say, yes, Graham, I'm interested. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to do it from this point on. Anybody out there that's willing to commit? Maybe if you're watching this on the replay, maybe if you're listening to the audio of this that I'll put up in the podcast, just somehow connect and say, yes, Graham, I'm ready to step up and I'm ready to step in. This industry is crying out for good people to help. The world is crying out for good people to help. Are you that person? Are you? Are you that person? Are you that person that's going to step past their fear? Or are you sitting there right now watching this going, oh God, all my fear's taken over. I'm never going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not good enough. Or I don't deserve you. Why would people listen to me? How could I coach people when my life's not all set out yet? Guess what? My life's not set out yet either. And it never will, because life's an ever progressing roller coaster ride, isn't it? We just keep going. My life's not perfect, far from it. And I'm not perfect, far from it. But I help people. And helping people helps me some as well. So it's time to make a commitment and dive into the helping industry. The Priority Academy can help you do that. You can get trained with the Priority Academy to do that, and we can help you through the process. We've even got an approved practitioner program these days that helps you to get through the process to be the best you can be, so that you're ready to go out there, so that you're ready to take on people and really help them. And I've got people in the professional membership in the Priority Academy who are on the approved practitioner program who are making leaps and bounds. They are stepping forward and stepping up and moving forwards with their careers. And all I want is for more people to do that, so that there's more people to help out there. So that's it. That's my big cry for today. That's my big shout out to you to try and get you to step up and step in. Are you going to do it? I certainly hope so. Now, I've got to be honest, I was nervous as heck about doing this, but I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this, so I think I'll make this a regular thing. Probably at the same time every week. I'll be on here live, sometimes with guests, sometimes just on my own, but I'm looking forward to it. And if there's anything you want me to discuss, anything about the industry or anything about life coaching or how to help people or whatever it may be, then drop me a line and I'll think about discussing it, and I'll see what I can pull up for you. For now, though, I'm going to say thank you for watching. If you're watching this live, thank you. As I said, I can see a couple of you watching. Thank you if you're watching this on a replay, or if you're listening to it on the podcast, whichever it may be. Thank you. I'm truly grateful that you came along on this very first one, and I'll do my best to make these as great as I possibly can in the future. But for now, though, I wish you a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, whichever you're at the moment, and I hope you have a great day. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.